Hello everyone. So today I'm going to show you how to implement this simple minimap that you see here in the top left. So as you can see, as the character moves around, the minimap also moves around. So here what we are going to do is I'm going to set up a method to dynamically capture the minimap image from the level. And then I'm going to use it in the minimap. And we are going to create a material for the minimap, so it will follow the player to keep the player always in the center of the minimap image. And it's not using the full image, it's just using a scaled image. So we will set up all the parameters and everything to define the scale of the minimap and how to make it centered around the player and all those things. So yeah, let's get started with today's episode. And before that, let me quickly remind you that you can download the project files of this project and all other thousands of projects I have done in my channel from the Patreon page. Once you become a member, you can access everything without any limits, so feel free to check it out. I'll leave the link in description below. And also here is the full tutorial series of this series, action RPG with gameplay ability system. Everything is implemented from scratch and explained. You can follow these episodes and implement everything you see in this tutorial by yourself too. So yeah. Alright, so I have a plan to use the things that I implemented for the marker system. That means these markers. Later on I will be using the same components, this marker component, because it already contains things like icon data or icon of the markers, size, all those things. So I could use the same things to show them in the map as well. Therefore, I'm going to implement the map system within this markers folder. So I have renamed it to map and markers. Right, now the first thing is let's create a new structure to hold map data. So in the blueprint structure, I'll call it S map data. Okay, and open it. So first thing, I would need the size of the map. So map size in Unreal units, I'll make it float and default value I'll make it 30,000 units. We can change this. And another variable, map center. This should be a vector. Oh, actually a vector 2D position. Yeah, because Z component wouldn't matter, and that should be enough for now. Map center, map size. Okay. Now, oh, actually we would need something else too, but I will add it later. So now, yeah, let's create a new folder. What do I need? No need. So now I'll create a new blueprint class. I'll call it BP Map Manager. This is the responsibility of this class would be to capture the map image. So now let's call it Map Manager. And here I'm gonna add the scene capture component 2D. Let me rotate it 90 degrees. Okay, also now this is here. I'll add a sufficiently large, let's say 5,000 vertical height to this capture component, because I'm gonna place this in the map 0, position and capture an image. Now it's here. This is where the scene capture component is. Using that camera, I'm going to capture an image that is going to be used for the image of the minimap. So we can dynamically have an image. So even as you make changes into the map or level, dynamically that will be captured, so you don't need to manually update it. Okay, now in the begin play, let's call this map capture component. To capture this, we need a texture target. So for that, I'll create a render target. Let's name it RT map. Later on, I will implement a way to use a custom image instead of the captured one as well. But for now, just render target is enough. Okay, right. Now, I'll assign it here. And we don't need to capture every frame. And also, I'll change the size of this projection type to orthographic and ortho width. So for now, I want to capture the full map. So therefore, if I go to top view and with the middle mouse drag a line, you can see it's 33,000 something. So I'm gonna use 30,000, which should be same as this one. So actually, let's dynamically set that. Here I'll add a variable map data, and I'll use the type s map data, so that we can dynamically change the capture size and everything. I'll make it instance editable. By default, we have 30,000 map center 00. So yeah, here get map data, set member, and the center we need to set dynamically because that's depend on the actor's location. Get actor location of this map capture component. This is a position. Do we have a vector 2D? Yeah, we do. We change it to that. Center. Okay, now it's easy. And also this map capture component, I'll set auto width with the map size. And after that, I'll capture scene. I'll call capture scene on the map capture component. Equal to this. Right. Okay. So we can actually promote this as a function, collapse to a function. Let's call it capture map. All right. Now, I already added the map manager into the level. Let's go to perspective mode and play the game. Now here, see? Now an image is captured. But this is 256 by 256. I'll increase the resolution. Something large. Like this. So we would have a higher quality image. Play the game and that's enough. See? Now we have the image. Okay. We need a variable here. Let's add texture. Map texture. Then I'll assign this render target here. as the default value. So here, for the map manager, I would have on the map data, we need to compile this image as the map texture. So if we are customizing that, then we can change it here too. Oh, one thing. Well, let's not dynamically set that in case we want to use multiple different render targets. Okay, now the capturing part is done. The next step would be, let's create a widget. User interface, widget blueprint. User widget should be fine here because I'm just gonna add this to the HUD. So WBP minimap. So here I'll add a canvas. Yeah, why not? Let's add a canvas panel. And under this, let's add an image. Let's set this to something like this. And then let's call it map image and anchor it to the whole screen. Okay, now here, now using this, I'll create a material. Let's call it M minimap. Now I'll change the domain of the material to user interface and change this to masked. Color should go here, and I did import this minimap alpha and minimap frame. Let me move this here, and then minimap alpha, it's nothing, just a square, just a circle. So let me import this here and use alpha from there. Now you see we have a circular image, and save. And I'm gonna use this M minimap as the material here. Now we have the map image like this, and similarly map border. Well, here I'll use this map frame for the border. See that? Slightly increase the size. Oh, we can do this. -5. Yeah, now we can see the frame. Nice. Okay, now let me just add this into our UI. We have a part, this main UI. Is it? No, we have a HUD. In-game HUD. Yeah, this one. In-game HUD. So here I'll add minimap, WBP minimap, like this. Let's say I'll anchor it to the top left. 50 by 50, and size maybe 300 by 300. Let's just see how it looks. Okay, so this is the way it looks, and yeah, markers are behind it. Nice. So yeah, as you can see, nothing is happening. It's just a static image. Alright, then let's start working on this. Now we do have the basic setup. Now first thing is, I don't need to see the full image here. I just need to see a scaled image. So therefore, we can get this texture coordinate, and then we can multiply this with the parameter, let's call it map scale, and put it here. Let's try something like 0.25. Now we have a scaled image. See, it's not the full image now. Okay, then now we need to move the map as the player moves around. So to do that, we would need to add an offset into this scaled image. Now I'll add a vector parameter player location. Okay, and the player should be in the middle or in the center of this image. So if we want to move this image to the center, right now as you can see, it's not the center that we are seeing. If I open the full image, we are seeing this area, because when we scale it up, we only see this area. But we need to, if the player is in the center, we need to be focused on somewhere like this. For that, now that we have a scale, we need to move the map, move the image. And how much we need to move, we can get it from this value here, 1 minus, and divide this by 2. Because think about it, if the map scale is 0.25, then we need to add an offset of this much to move it back to the center. So if I do that and simply add it here, now you would see we are back in the center of the map. See? Apply. Now the area that we are seeing here is similar to the center area. Okay, so that's correct. But we still have the scale too. Now, since we need to keep the player on the center, we can add player's location into this. But here, this is a vector parameter. We only need component mask xy component only, because we don't consider the vertical position, vertical factor of the location, because we are viewing for the map from the top. Okay, now if the player is in the center, we would see something like this. But if the player move, let's say like this, see, it's moving. Here we need to queue the player position in the same space relative to the map size, considering the map size is 1. Map size means this map size 30,000. Okay, so we can update this parameter from the widget. So we can do it from here. Let's see. In the construct, now we have the map image. We can get dynamic material. And let's promote it to a variable. I'll call it dmini. Now here, let's get the dmini map, convert to a validated get. If it is true, then we can set vector parameter value, and the parameter name is this player position. And we can get on in player pawn and get back to location. And from here, now we need to give the player position into here in the same space as the map image. So we need to get this map data. For that, I'll use get actor of class, and I'll choose map manager, and from here we need to do is valid. Wait, it's valid check, and if yes, I can get map data it to a variable map data. Okay, now we have map data. Split this, break this, and we can now divide this. Actually, before dividing this, we need to subtract this from with the map center, and then divide this with the map size. Okay, all right, and then let me just directly put it here, but we would need some changes here because the x direction in the world and x direction in the texture in this here, x direction is from here to here and y means top to bottom, but in the world it doesn't exactly match. But let's just see how it looks first, then we can update it. So yeah, see, now if I move forward, you see, now we are moving to the right. If I move backward, we are moving to the left. So that's because those axes doesn't match. So what we can do is split, break, and split, and split. Let me put G into R and R into G. Now see, let me move forward. By the way, I have moved the character into the 0, 0 location so that it's easier for us to check if the minimap is behaving correctly. So now when we move forward, map actually goes backward. It should be going in the other way. So that simply means we just need a multiplied by -1 here. Now also, to be able to clearly see the player, I'll add, let's add just another image here. Place it in the center so it's easier to track the player. And maybe let's use map alpha. I did have some image. Minimap alpha. Okay, because I just need a square, need a circle, that's all. Okay, now we have a center circle. Let's give it red so it's easier to track. Okay, now let's see. See, when we move forward, it's moving backward. What? Oh, sorry. This is not that I should have changed. This is what I should have changed. Okay, see? Now it's moving correctly. Let's go over to that rock over there. So in the map also, we are now at the rock and to the other rock. Yeah, It's correct. Let's go till we see this hit this wall. Yep, it's correct. Okay, so everything is working fine. We are by the woods. Go into the wood. Yeah. Okay, so the map movement is correct. Alright, so that's all I want to do for this episode. But one thing that you may have noticed is now, as you can see, the the map is not rotating with the player. And maybe that is something that we need to address in the next episode. And also showing other markers, other enemies in the minimap too. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let's continue with the map system in upcoming episodes as well. So let me know if you have any questions from the stuff that I did so far in the comments, and see you in the next episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Goodbye.